Hey, this is Andre from Orlando, just outside of Orlando in Gotha, Florida. We're in Zone 9B. It's Super Bowl Sunday 2021. And I thought I'd do a quick video just to show you guys what I'm growing here. I have a food forest that I've built over the last couple years. It's still pretty young. I consider myself a beginner, so any comments, any advice, I would gladly take. Let's get right to the show. I'm going to start off with the south side of the house. Here I have my cocoa, which I've encased in a little, or cacao tree, which I've encased in a little mini greenhouse that I constructed. It's pretty simple, but it protected it through the winter. We had some freezing temperatures, or close to freezing temperatures, and it seems like it's done pretty good. So I'm pretty close to taking that off. Maybe in the next couple of weeks or so I'll take that off. If we go down here, we have a little olive tree that I don't really pay enough attention to, but it seems to be doing well on its own. It's got a little bit of scale. I think I might have to spray it with some neem oil or something, but it's doing pretty good. Over here, this is an old orange grove. It's not my property, but we've cleaned off one of these trees and it produces oranges. The oranges are pretty sour. I find the more that I actually take care of it, the better the oranges get. So, if it was an orange grove, then I believe that they were probably good oranges at one point, but just from neglect, they've gotten very sour. Over here, we have another olive tree. My wife has her butterfly garden. So we have some angel's trumpets, which are for the first time producing flowers. Most of these here are flowers, ornamentals. There is a miracle berry tree right there. This is an Anna apple, which is one of the few apples that can do okay in Florida. I don't know if it's going to produce any apples down here or not. Another miracle berry, a mulberry that I grew from a cutting. This is a June plum, and they always look like this in the winter. This is my little greenhouse here, where I store some of the ultra tropicals. I need to actually take some things out because we're getting kind of warm now. But I have a lot of seedlings in here, another cacao, a wax apple, a guinea, an avocado, which really doesn't need to be in here. I could probably take that out. But it was really young when I got it. I didn't want it to get frostbitten, so I put it in here. Also, I have a golden coconut. Got some lizards running around. This is a Dunkin' mango, which I'm trying to graft something onto. I had a couple unsuccessful grafts with it, so I'm just letting it grow, and I'll probably end up grafting something onto it. Soursop, which is my worst looking soursop, is the one that actually was protected, but now it's actually got some growth coming, so it's going to survive. Let's see. Got some seedlings over here, mostly jackfruit seedlings. Some of them are doing okay. Some of them kind of got beat up by the cold. We have a loquat here. We have a sugar apple. That's a little pomegranate right there. We have another olive. My wife likes olives. She likes the way the trees look. This is a cashew, which is not really supposed to grow this far north. The cold really does beat it up. I'm hoping that it'll bounce back in the spring. We have a Barbados Cherry right here. This was a distressed loquat that I purchased kind of in the middle of winter, so it got transplanted in some relatively cold weather, and I've had to prune it back a lot. I think it's doing better now. We will see. Now here we have some more ornamentals. We have a hammock, and we have a loquat there, which actually has a couple of little fruit on it right now. This is a Surinam Cherry. This was actually one of the few trees that was here when I got here. This used to all be just forest, so kind of like what you see with the forest over there, that's what this looked like. So we cleared all this out. This was a fruiting tree, so I kept it. All the rest were just like laurel cherries and other invasives. So we cut everything else out, except for the big trees. We left some of the big trees here. This is another loquat. I grafted a different variety of loquat on here. I've actually got to take this plastic off. That was from last year that I grafted that, and it took. We have a wild turkey back here. It's a female one, and I believe she's responsible for chewing up this banana, and hopefully it'll grow back from the roots. So if we take the path down here, we have a orange crush jackfruit, which I just planted probably about a month ago, and it seems to be doing well. It doesn't really mind the cold at all. We have more ornamentals around here. Let's see. This is a pomegranate, which I'm not sure whether this is going to make it or not. I had some issues with the roots on this thing, but actually it looks like it does have some buds, so I think that it is gonna do all right. Probably get its leaves back. We have a passion fruit, which is growing up this tree right here, which always seemed to be a bit of a problem in terms of production. But then I grafted my other passion fruit onto it, and the graft took, and it didn't do anything, but for some reason the tree started all of a sudden producing flowers. So, and then it started producing fruit. So I don't know if that stimulated it or not. We have a little mulberry from a cutting. Probably need to prune that down a little bit. We have some little mango seedlings. This is a Gak mango, which I just planted yesterday. But it already had flowers on it. I really like the way that it had a really nice thick trunk, and it branched out so early that it's going to be a nice compact tree. I like that. There used to be some trees here in this space here. I cut those trees down to plant this. I'll probably have some more room now to plant maybe another mango or something. Here we have a sugar apple and a red custard apple. And they're close to each other so that they can help cross-pollinate each other. We have a banana over here. We have a little baby orange tree here. We have a seedling avocado, which I've tried to graft several times, and you can see all the scars on it. They have been unsuccessful each time. Oh, there's an old piece I tried to graft on there. But I will eventually graft something onto this avocado. I don't want to wait 8 years to get a fruit. This is a little jackfruit seedling. I had some velvet beans growing here. It's mostly weeds now. These are blueberries. I just transplanted these from where they were before. Originally where I had them, I was getting blueberries, and then I transplanted somewhere else, and they weren't getting enough sun, so they were kind of dying. So I just put these here to see if they'll bounce back. Probably won't get blueberries this season, although a couple of them have flowers on them, but we'll see. We will see. Oh, there's dragon fruit there. This is coconut, which seems like it survived the winter. They're not supposed to be able to survive up here, but we had a mild winter and it's relatively protected here, a bit of a microclimate here. This is a Pickering mango. So we have a Namdak Mai mango, which has some flowers on it. So it's gonna probably produce. Go back here, we have the Patanga tuba, which I have not tasted the fruit of yet. It's flowered a couple times, but it has not held fruit. Here we have this was a Valencia Pride mango that a friend gave me, and I already had a big Valencia Pride, so I decided to use it as rootstock. So I grafted, you can see the graft right there, and there, and there. So I grafted 2 Bailey's Marvels scions onto it, and they're flowering already. This was last year I grafted it, and a orange sherbet. So that's flowering as well. So maybe I'll get to taste one of those mangoes this year. We have some black sugarcane here, which I have harvested some from. Doesn't seem to grow very rapidly, not as rapidly as the other sugarcane I have, but there's a new sprout coming, and hopefully when it warms up it'll sprout up some more. Some banana down here. every time I harvest sugarcane, I usually like take a piece and I'll stick it in the ground, see if it grows. So these two are growing here. There's like a new shoot growing right there on this sugarcane. I have some Mexican sunflower down here. More bananas here. I was hoping that they would really take off being closer to the water. They would get to the water table and really take off, but they're really slow growing down here for some reason. I'm not sure what it is. I throw lots of leaves and lots of organic matter on them, but they just seem to grow slow. This is a tangerine tree. I believe it's a puncan tangerine, which is flowering a lot. It's got some little tangerines on it, but it's losing a lot of leaves. And I don't know if that's a winter thing or if that is like a sign that we're having the greening on this one here. So we'll see whether that's the case. Got a big pineapple. This is the first pineapple I ever planted, so I'm hoping that this year it's actually going to produce a pineapple. We have a sugar apple here. This sugar apple is kind of growing like a stick. So I was planning on taking the top of it off and letting it branch out more. But then I figured, well, actually I got advice that I could just air layer it here, produce some roots here. And if it produces roots there, then I can cut it off and have the tree still grow, but this top will become a separate tree and it'll be a relatively mature tree. So it's not like growing a seedling all over again. Oh shoot. I just stepped on this little pigeon pea plant, which is very tiny to be flowering like that, but I need to tie that up. I have a wild passion fruit, which is starting to grow up that tree there. It's good. Some goji berries that I planted here. Yeah, they're starting to bounce back. I trimmed it back really hard. I don't really like goji berries, I've discovered, so I don't know what I'm going to do with that. Let's see which way we're going to go. We're going to go this way. This is an Alfonso Mango, which had some problems with scale. So I had to basically clean off all the leaves on this, basically. It is flowering, so hopefully I'll get to taste some Alfonso mangoes. They're supposed to be very sweet. I don't know if I've ever had one. I can't remember. Here is a fruit punch mango, and it's got some little flowers on it. This is a longan, which is really slow growing for me at least. I don't know if it's struggling or what. It's got some white stuff on it there. Might have to spray it with some neem oil or something. Oh, little grapefruit seedling. I planted a seed and it's actually growing. It's been there for about a year now. It's pretty small. This is a Rolinia, which is like a sugar apple. It's in the same family, the Anonas. I've not had any fruit from this yet. It loses its leaves in the winter. Hopefully it'll bounce back really strong this year and maybe we'll get a fruit. We have a buttercream mango here. It's got some flowers on it. Pineapple, some dasheen from last year that's in the ground there. We have a coconut here, which is a well-established coconut. Hopefully it made it through the winter, which I think it did. It looks green inside. The outer leaves are kind of burnt from the cold, but we should maybe in the next year or two get some coconuts. Coconuts are not supposed to grow up here, but you know, we'll see. We have some more bananas down here. Some more Mexican sunflower. This is a triple sec mango, which also has some buds. I like the color. It's got a very nice light, kind of weird green, like a neon green color. Oh, here we have a nectarine, which is putting out some beautiful flowers. It's actually flowering a lot before it actually puts out any leaves at all. So that's cool. This is my orange sherbet, which I learned does not like to be pruned, and it's always been a bit of a problem. It's been slowly dying, so I decided to go for it and, you know, decapitate it and see if it can sprout back up anew. We will find out if that happens or not. This is a silk floss tree, which I think is just suffering from the cold a little bit, but it looks like it's alive. I think it's going to bounce back. Oh. This is a lemon meringue mango, which has a bud here, so we might get some flowers on this one. There's my beehive. Bees are incredibly active today. This is one of the warmer days we've had in a long time, so I guess they're excited. Hopefully they're not getting robbed right now or anything like that. I think they're just busy bees. This is a jackfruit here, which I got at a local nursery. They didn't know what it was. I was pretty sure it was a jackfruit, so I bought it, and I think they sold it to me for like 20 bucks or something like that. So I got a really good deal on this jackfruit. There's a little baby orange there. Oh, here we have some passion fruit. These passion fruit actually look like little watermelons when they're ripe. It's pretty cool. Oh, there's a little lizard on the tree. Get a close up. Anole. This is a Pina Colada mango right here. Not really seeing any buds on this one yet, but be patient. Got some yellow bamboo, golden bamboo. Not sure what variety it is exactly. There is some shampoo ginger that is around here. Winter kind of beat it down. Hopefully it will come back. We got more bananas. We have some plantains here, or plantains. Got a lot of organic matter down there to help them grow. A little jackfruit seedling. This is some black pepper vine, which seems to be doing okay. The winter's kind of been a little rough on it, but hopefully it'll bounce back. We have big pineapple here. I gotta go back this way. Here we have a catlay guava, or lemon guava. Last year it produced some guavas. They're nice and sweet. We have a sugar apple that actually broke off right here. I think something tried to climb it, but I kind of tied that branch that was heading off to make it the main branch, and then it sprouted up another branch, so it actually looks better than it looked before. So that's going to do fine. Another pineapple. We have a finger lime here. I'm very excited to try those finger limes. We have a lychee here, which it's always been a struggling tree from the time I got it, but it looks like it's putting out some new growth. We will see. We have some prickly pear, which does not do well here. I don't know if the ground is too moist or what, but it just struggles. But the dragon fruit does pretty well here. These are all about 1 year old, so I'm hoping that this is the year that they start to flower and produce for me. This is a green guava. We have some elderberry over here. We have a yellow passion fruit right here, which I'm also excited about. Some banana. This is a Namwa banana here. We have a persimmon. I can't remember what kind of persimmon this is right now. Let's see. We have a ice cream banana here. We've got some great flowers on this one. This one is very precocious. It's trying to produce a ton of mangoes, which I know it can't hold, but it'll drop what it can't hold. This is some utia, which is a root crop. Kind of like a dasheen or like a yam, I guess, kind of. This is banana that a friend gave me. A few of these are bananas that I was given, so I don't know what variety they are. This is a starfruit tree. I don't know the variety of starfruit this is, but I have two others, which I'm going to get to in a second, and I know those varieties. This is Mayan tree spinach, or chaya, and you eat the leaves. You can boil them. Well, you have to boil them because they have cyanide in them, so if you don't boil them, you're going to be in trouble. This is going to be my little ginger garden here. This is another carambola or starfruit. I don't know how to say that. The Sri Kembangan, Sri Kembangan, I guess. And then I have this one here, which is the Puang Tung. Starfruit or Carambola. We have some more pigeon peas over there. I have a little Mame sapote behind me here, which struggles in the cold here. I really don't like the fruit, like the Mame fruit, and they take 2 years to ripen, so I'm not a huge fan of this tree. I'm thinking I might exile it somewhere else and put something more desirable in its place here. This is an ice cream banana, which I'm very excited to taste what those taste like that. This is Brazilian spinach here. I might be wrong on that, but I think that's what it's called. This is yucca or cassava. I need to cut these branches off and actually plant them because I can make a bunch of cuttings and grow a lot more cassava. Let's see. This is a Mona Lisa banana. We have some katuk here, which also is a leafy green. You can eat that. This is a jackfruit seedling. Actually, it's not a seedling. It's actually a grafted jackfruit. I have some jackfruit seedlings and some that were grafted. This one was actually a grafted one. This is a sugar apple. Nice big sugar apple. Should have a lot of sugar apples from that this year. Pineapples. I have fig right here. And this is a Julie mango, or one of the most famous mangoes in the Caribbean. Everyone always asks me if my mangoes are Julie. Well, Julie is also the parent of a lot of other types of mangoes, some of which I have. This is a tamarind, a very small tamarind. It's starting to grow. Got a little orange tree there. This is a guava. I don't know what kind of guava this is, but I have a couple different guavas, and this one is different from them. This is the remains of some cranberry hibiscus, which looks like it's starting to sprout some leaves again. The ground cover in here is all sweet potato. This is a June plum, which looks like this in the winter, but it seems like it did fine this winter. It should make it through. They have a soursop, which lost most of its leaves, but it will be fine. We have another sugar apple here. You can tell that I like sugar apples. I have a lot of them. Oh, I got some bees. Oh, it looks like a little native bee right there. I don't know if you can see the bee. That's a native bee, but there's also some honey bees that are on this bush. It's in a boza, which is also, I guess, called a butterfly bush. But I didn't even know it flowered. I had it for tea, and it makes pretty good tea. It makes a really strong tea. But apparently it flowers really well, and it's a great food source for the bees, especially this time of year. They don't have a ton of flowers to go to. That is more katuk over there. A soursop right here, which is doing okay actually considering the cold. Yerba mate, which is a tea that is pretty famous in Argentina. We have some coffee, which is getting damaged a little bit by the cold, but it's hanging in there. It's doing all right. Some more cranberry hibiscus. This is my jackfruit, or my biggest, most mature jackfruit tree. It's not that big, but it's getting there. And we got a little flower on it, which looks like it's probably a male flower. Still waiting for this thing to produce a female flower, but it has not as of yet. Last year it produced a lot of male flowers, but the female flowers are the ones that produce the fruit. We have another pineapple, some ornamental ginger, and an orange tree. This is a cherimoya, which is also in the sugar apple family. I've never tasted one, so I'm excited about that. We have some Meringue here, which is looking really good for this time of year. Usually they don't even put leaves out till much later, but this one seems to want to grow despite the cold. And it's supposed to be one of the most nutritious land plants in the world. Everything you could think of, this has a ton of it. So I put it in my shakes. I dry it and freeze it, and I use it in a lot of things. This is a Jabu Chicaba. Here, this one is actually mature enough to produce. It produces, it's also called like a Brazilian grape. It produces a grape-like fruit that's really good. This is another Jabu Chicaba. Trying to get through here without destroying all this sweet potato. So it produces fruit directly on the bark. So you're gonna see like flowers come right off the bark when it's ready to flower, and the fruit sit right on the bark. It's really cool looking. I believe it's called coliferous proliferation or something like that, or coliferous fruiting. But anyways, it's really cool. We have some pineapples here. This is another Jabu Chicaba, but I grafted a red Jabu Chicaba branch onto it here. I don't know if you can see, that's where the graft is, and it's actually pushing out leaves. So that's a successful graft. Some of these other grafts on it have been there for a long time, like almost like 6 to 9 months, and they haven't pushed out any leaves, but when I scratch them, they're still alive, so I'm gonna leave them. Another Meringue. This is a bay leaf plant, like the bay leaf that you cook with. So usually I just take a couple branches off, a couple leaves off that. Over here we have some longevity spinach, which is starting to grow a lot. I love it. It's really nutritious spinach, along with this Okinawan spinach, which is also very nutritious. And it's also putting out flowers and producing seeds. So I'm going to actually keep these seeds, and I'm going to try planting some of this Okinawan spinach. See, it's got these red flowers on it, or orange flowers. We also have, this is a hog plum, which loses its leaves. Hopefully it'll bounce back. More pineapples, caught up in the sweet potato here. This is a calamodin, which is like a citrus fruit. They're very sour. They don't taste good at all, so I don't know what to do with that. This is another hog plum. It didn't lose all its leaves, but most of them, so we'll see how that goes. This is a fig. I can't remember what kind of fig this is. Let's see what kind of fig it is. I think it's a Celeste fig. But it actually has produced some figs last year. I have it in a pot because in the ground the nematodes eat the roots, and it doesn't seem to do very well. This is a Harvest Moon mango, which is probably my most troublesome mango because it grows really well, but it does not produce really well. The first year it had a lot of mangoes on it, and it dropped them when they were small. The second year it didn't produce at all. So this is the third year, and what I did is I grafted other mangoes onto it that I liked better, or that I liked. So I grafted, here we have a graft. This is coconut cream, and actually the graft is producing buds, and it's gonna flower even though the main tree's not. This is Namdok Mai that I grafted on here as well, and it's gonna produce even though the main tree seems like it's not. So that's how it goes. This is all passion fruit up here. I picked up some passion fruit off the ground this morning, but the passion fruit grows all up these trees. This is a jamun, which is like a black plum. This is the first year this tree's really started to grow, so I suspect that this might be the year that it actually flowers and we get some fruit from it. This is my Barbados Cherry, which is always growing out of control. Probably should air layer it a bunch and just make a bunch of trees off it, but I don't really want that many cherries, so I don't know what to do. This is Turk's cap hibiscus, and the flowers are edible. There's some more figs here. They're hot. This is the remains of the sorrel from last year that I planted. It may bounce back, or I might just have to replant it somewhere else. Some sugar cane that I'm trying to sprout here as well. Some lemongrass, pineapples, blackberries, pineapples. We have some elderberry here, and we have a Pakistani mulberry, which struggled, and then winter came, but now it's actually putting on leaves and buds, so I'm hoping that it was very lanky, and I cut it back a lot to try to get it to branch out more and be a more stable tree. So I'm hoping now it will start to branch and just be a better shaped tree. We have some wild coffee right here. Let's see. It's another banana. This is a sapodilla, which is a very sweet fruit. Tastes kind of like like brown sugar. We have some fig cuttings in here as well with some pineapple. This is a jackfruit actual seedling. This is a seedling, mango seedling that someone gave to me. The leaves are very purple in color, the new growth, like even more so than normal. So I think I'm gonna let it, at least have a couple branches of itself on there. But I am gonna try to graft some other things onto it to see if I can utilize this rootstock. But I'm curious to see what kind of mangoes this thing will produce. Jackfruit here. This is where I removed all the blueberries from because it was just not getting enough sun in here. So hopefully they'll do better down there. Have a look at the bees. We have some tea plants, chamomile tea right here. This is, I believe, is a loquat. Came from the woods, dug it up, put it here. Hasn't done much of anything. Hopefully this summer it'll catch and do a lot. Here we have some papaya. Yeah, there should be two of them. Yep. Let's see. This mulberry tree here is one that I've grafted a lot of the Pakistani mulberry onto, and it's starting to take off. They always look kind of rough in the winter, and then once spring rolls around, they really start to bloom and grow. And this one has a really strong vertical growth pattern. It just wants to rocket up to the unlimited. Oh, got some sprouts. We have some dragon fruit back here. When I planted this dragon fruit, I got it from Lowe's. I didn't really know anything about dragon fruit. I didn't know that it needed a trellis. I didn't know that it needed a ton of sunlight. So here it is. It's growing like crazy. It doesn't get enough light, and it doesn't have a great trellis, but it is what it is. I've taken some cuttings off this and I've put them in better spots, but we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna save the raised beds for last, or almost last. This is some more pigeon pea. You can see it's flowering really good. We have a papaya, which is struggling. That does not look good, but we'll see. It's still alive. We'll see how it does. It's gonna warm up now. This is another coconut, which is doing really well. It's very protected in here, so it's got its own microclimate. We have more pigeon pea, but the squirrels keep climbing these and breaking off the branches, and I keep losing big piles of pigeon peas. So I don't know if we're ever going to get any pigeon peas this year because the squirrels have gotten a liking to them, so they're very annoying. Raised beds here with some Swiss chard, some tomatoes. These are sun gold tomatoes, I believe. They are so delicious, and I don't even like tomatoes, but they stay yellow and they're really good and sweet. Here we have some bok choy. This is just store-bought bok choy. What I do is I cut the bok choy, eat it, take the bottom, put it in the ground. In about 2 weeks, you have a new bok choy. Cut it, leave it in the ground. In 2 more weeks, you got another bok choy. I don't know how many times you can do this, but I'm gonna keep doing it and find out. This one actually started growing like 4 or 5 different bok choys out of one thing there, so we'll see what happens with that one. Here we have a loquat. Let's see what kind of loquat this is. It's a gold nugget loquat. It flowered, but it did not hold any fruit this year. I did graft a different loquat onto it here, so I've got to unwrap this as well. Let's see, we're gonna go this way. All right. This is a Ruby Supreme guava. It's been sort of attacked by leafcutter bees, which are cool. The plant's still healthy, and it's probably my fault because I put a native bee's nest right here. So that may be a part of the reason why it's getting like that, but it's fine. We have some pineapple here, another ice cream banana, more pineapples, some sweet almond bush, which is supposed to attract a lot of pollinators. Oh, we've got a ladybug. I've released thousands of ladybugs in this yard over the last year, so it's nice to see that there's at least some left. We got sugarcane here. I've harvested a bunch of this recently, but we got some new stuff growing up. Here we have vegetables. I'm not going to go through all of it, but it's potatoes in the back, greens and stuff here. Just harvested some of this red romaine. And I basically just cut it off and let it grow back, and we'll probably get more. This is some celery. just store-bought celery that we've just taken the celery and put the bottom in the ground, and it's growing celery. We have a lot of green onions here, more celery from the store, some Greek oregano, some parsley. I have carrots and beets mostly in this bed. Here's my wife's little herb garden, so she's got some herbs growing here. This is a, looks like a little ladybug larva. I don't know if you can see that, but this is a miracle berry, and this one produces a lot of berries when it does. I think it has some on there right now, so it's just a matter of time. I feel like they just kind of appear, like one minute there's nothing on it, the next minute there's a bunch of red berries on it. This is my pepper garden, which is struggling a little bit because of the cold. I may have to just put new peppers in. I'm waiting to see if some of these bounce back or not. These are super hot bird peppers here. Planted some onions in between. This is a Kent mango here. A lot of this stuff was planted before I really wanted to do like a food forest. So the Kent mango was the second tree. That other Kent mango over there was the first tree. And that's when all of this was just forest. All of this looked pretty much like what over there looks like. It was just bush. So we had stuff planted at the edge of the forest. So that's why some of the things are in places that are not particularly ideal, I guess. The mosquitoes are coming out. So we got tomatoes here, we have eggplants, we got some lettuce, we got some onions, we got a whole mix of stuff going on here. There's potatoes in the back. My Namois banana, I think it's Namois. It's either Namois or ice cream, but I'm pretty sure it's Namois. And it's just the second rack that we've gotten from this bunch of trees here. Here we also have some dwarf Cavendish. So that's produced. When they produce in the winter, it's kind of hard because when they get that frost, it just, I feel like it just stunts the growth of them. Here is a Jabu Chicaba, which was down there, but it wasn't getting enough water. So up here, it's getting a lot more water, and it's starting to put out new growth. Another fig here. I think that's a brown turkey fig here. Here is where I'm going to try to grow grapes. So I have the vines. They're not dead. They just look dead, but they'll bounce back as soon as it warms up. Let's see. We have papayas. I just harvested a papaya today from this tree. Then we have more lemongrass. We have a peach tree, which I'm hoping will bounce back from the winter. We have some Cuban oregano here, which really grows like a weed. It's all over the place here now. More pigeon peas. Yeah, the squirrels haven't really found this one. This is a plum tree. This is a Jamaican cherry or strawberry tree, which last year looked like death in the winter. This year it's managed to keep most of its leaves. So should have a really big crop from this tree this year. And this is a tamarind tree. Through here we have a mango seedling. One of my patients gave me a mango, and it was actually very delicious, so I decided I'd plant it, and it sprouted out, and it's getting pretty mature. So one of the tricks that a good friend of mine told me was, if you want to know how a mango is going to taste, you're going to have to wait 7-8 years for a seedling to produce, or you can take a scion from the seedling and put it on a mature tree, and then in a couple years it could fruit, and you'll get a preview of the fruit to come. So I think I'm going to do that with that one at some point. This is my Cherry mango, which is my most productive mango so far. Every year this thing is consistent, it produces, and the mangoes taste great. I had to fight the squirrels for a lot of mangoes this year, but it's part of nature, right? So I am air layering this one. I'm going to create another tree, another cherry tree from this point forward. So we will see how that goes. Here is my lychee tree, which is just loaded with flowers or buds. It's going to be flowering soon. I'm very excited about it. Last year was an off year. I felt like it had a bit of a parasite, so it didn't produce. This year it looks like it's going to be loaded with lychee. I am air layering this as well because I want another one of these trees. Take off anything that's dead off of this tree. This is a Malacca mango, which gives you decent mangoes. You have to pick them before they're ripe, and you have to let them ripen inside. I've grafted, let's see, some Alfonso on here, which is flowering. I know I've grafted some Glen, which is also flowering in 2 spots there. Like, the grafts are actually flowering more than the main tree is. There's also another graft right here. Yep, here is some triple sec, and that is flowering as well. And it's funny because that graft is flowering more than the main tree is flowering. Maybe it's powered by a stronger tree, maybe. But this is the Kent mango, which is a very fast grower, and it's a very good producer. The mangoes are very good. I grafted some Maha Chinook onto this one, and that's what it looks like, and it's flowering, so it's going to be producing this year, hopefully. This tree, in a storm, broke off right here as a young tree, and it was just a stump. And it came back, and within a year, it was already back to producing fruit. This is my biggest avocado tree by far, and it is a very prolific producer of avocados. The avocados are amazing on this tree. I am air layering this tree right here so I can get a second one of them. And I also have a graft that I did on this tree from another avocado tree. It's the only avocado graft that I have that actually has taken. You can see the buds there. This tree is about to go into bloom. Here's my sugarloaf mango, which is supposedly one of the best tasting mangoes. I haven't tried a sugarloaf yet, but it is flowering like crazy, so hopefully we'll get some sugarloaf